So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of the worst, if not the worst, experiences I've had with Philippine Airlines. So, anyways, my sister was supposed to get married in August, and I was supposed to fly out 2 months before the wedding to kind of help her out and just to spend the summer with her. So we booked our tickets. My grandma, my grandpa, and I booked our tickets about 3 to 4 months in advance because we know that flight dates would skyrocket as the dates get closer to departure. Even though we booked earlier, the ticket was still pretty pricey. Anyways, it's besides the point now. Grandma and I were booked to leave June 19th, and that flight was supposed to be from Cebu to Manila, Manila to Honolulu, all on the 19th. But then because of COVID, my grandpa wasn't able to leave, and he decided he would leave in July instead. And then my grandma wanted to leave at the same time as him, so we did that. We kind of rebooked both of them to be leaving in July instead. I kept mine because I didn't want to have to pay the rebooking and all of that on top of what I already paid for. About 2 weeks before I had to leave, or 2 weeks, so about like the third or the first week of June, we got an email, or my sister did, because she's the one that booked our flights for us, regarding my flight. And in the email it said that my schedule was changed and that I would be leaving Manila on the 20th instead of the 19th. I had to stay in Manila for one night because I had to get the COVID swab test. And at first my sister said no, we didn't want that. We wanted I wanted to get to Honolulu the fastest or the soonest time possible. I didn't want to be stuck in Manila, a city I don't really know, for a night. And it was just going to be me, and I had to take all the things for the wedding with me. So it was just a hassle on my part, and I didn't want it. So we told them we didn't want, but they told us that we didn't really have much of a choice and that it was a requirement by the airlines. And so my sister was like, okay, and are you guys gonna cover for her accommodations? I was told that my accommodations would be covered for me in Manila by Philippine Airlines. And so we said, okay, then that's fine, as long as there's somebody that's taking care of all of that for me, because that was not something I wanted. It's something that they required. So as the dates got closer, we kept calling the airlines to make sure that my flights were still all confirmed, and they said yes, my flights were all still confirmed. However, I was getting worried because as the date of departure was getting closer, they kept changing the time in which I had to leave. Like 3 days before they changed it, and then 2 days before they changed it, a day before they changed it. The morning I was supposed to leave, they changed it. Good thing I woke up really early that morning, or I usually wake up early, but good thing I woke up really early. I checked my email, and I got the email that my time was changed to 3 o'clock, and I thought, to 3 o'clock, and I thought I was leaving at 5, so good thing I checked my email. Anyways, so when I left, I was told by one of the agents that we called to tell the person at check-in about my accommodation situation. And I did. I checked in. I told the girl, like, oh, I was told that my accommodations would be covered for me, and that to tell you about it. And she's like, oh, okay, mom, yeah, okay. And then she called somebody, and then they were on the phone, and then she's like, yeah, she's connecting flight to Honolulu, but her flight's still the next day. And then she asked me, oh, ma'am, did you want your accommodations in Cebu or in Manila? And I was like, oh, I want it in Manila, because I knew that the next day I had a flight to catch in Manila. So I said, oh, Manila. And she said, okay. She's still talking on the phone. And then when she put the phone down, she was like, oh, when you get to Manila, go to transfer desk and they will handle your accommodations for you. And I said, oh, okay, where's transfer desk? Because I interpreted it as they were going to cover my accommodations for me. So I said, okay, where's transfer desk? And she's like, oh, it's just at arrival, you'll see it. So I thought everything was going smoothly and everything was okay, but I was wrong. Like, it just went downhill from there. So then my flight left at around 3:30, but I wasn't even checking my phone anymore. Once you're in the air, there was no more signal. I don't know if it's just me or if there's a lot of other people, but anyways, yeah. There was no more signal once we took off, and I didn't even check my. I just wanted to get some sleep, even though it was like an hour, whatever. Anyways, so what happened was, when I landed, I turned on my data to message my sister and my family that, oh, I'm in Manila, but I got an email that said, we are sorry, your flight number to Honolulu has been cancelled. And I opened the email, I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And I thought, like, I only read we are sorry, and I thought it meant like the time was changed or whatever, but it wasn't. Like, it just said your flight has been cancelled due to some flight adjustments, and I was just like, what's the adjustment? Are you changing me to, are you gonna take me on another route? Is it a different date that I have to fly out, or a different time? What's the adjustment? Nothing. So I went to transfer desk, and she was terrible. Like, the lady who was there, supposedly passenger assistant, whatever, was of no help, and she was so useless. She wanted to go home. Like, her friends were headed home, and I guess she wanted to go with them, so she tried to rush the process with me, but I was like, no, you're not going anywhere until I find a place to stay. And she practically told me, oh, you can stay outside Terminal 1, that's where your flight will be tomorrow anyways. You could just stay outside and wait for your flight. And I was like, wait, my flight is still there? Like, I got an email that said my flight is not there, or my flight is cancelled. And she was like, no, your flight is still there, it's still on for tomorrow. And so that got my hopes up a little bit, but you know, it didn't really help the fact that they still wouldn't give me accommodations. Oh, okay, anyways. So landed in Manila, and I told her my situation, and I was told that when I landed in Manila to go to transfer desk and that they would take care of my accommodations for me. And she was like, we didn't get any calls or any like authorization to provide accommodations for you. And I was like, no, there must be something wrong. And she called Cebu. She called someone, and she was like, they asked you if you had accommodations to stay at in Manila, and you said you had. That's what. And I was like, no. She told me if I wanted to stay in Manila or in Cebu, where I wanted my accommodations, and she told me that transfer desk here in Manila would help me get my accommodations. Unless I understood that wrong. Like, is it, can somebody please tell me if I understood that wrong? Because I don't think I understood it wrong. Like, and so I just started going downhill, and she was like, yeah, you could just stay at Terminal 1, but you're gonna have to stay outside because you didn't check in yet. And I was just like, so you're telling me to stay at the airport where I could possibly catch the virus? Anyways, at this point, I was crying. Not really crying, I was just really stressed out because I was tired, and I don't know, I wanted to just leave already. She wasn't any help, and then my sister talked to her, called my sister. My sister talked to her, and she was saying her name. I don't know if I should name drop, but she was just throwing attitude. She was just like, no, we didn't get authorization, but she went and she was like with her friends, like she was in a crowd with her friends, and they were just talking, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to call, blah blah blah. Nothing. I was on the phone with Philippine Airlines, or like on the Philippine Airlines hotline, trying to get some help, And this lady comes up to me and she tells me over and over again what she already told me in the beginning. We were gonna give me authorization, so are we good, ma'am? Are we good? Can I leave now? Can I go? Like, that's what she kept asking me. And she saw me on the phone and I was just like, no, we're not done yet. I'm still talking to someone. And so I had to end the call. And then I was like, no, so where am I gonna stay? What am I gonna do? And then she was like, oh, we can get you a hotel, but you're gonna have to pay for it. Or you could just stay at Terminal 1 and wait for your flight. And I was like, my flight is cancelled. I've been telling you, my flight is cancelled. Do you not comprehend? I've been telling you, my flight is cancelled. She's like, I'm sorry, can I go? And then I called again, and she just up and left. Like, she didn't even try to figure out who could help me. She should try to call or look for anyone that could help me with my situation. She just up and left. So, and then, so the security guards saw me and they felt bad for me, and they're like, ma'am, you could just stay here. It's safer for you to stay here because there's so many people upstairs. And I was like, thank you. Like, right now I don't really have much of a choice, so I'll just stay here. And then they're like, what happened? And then they're like, oh, you can go to the ticketing office upstairs and see what they can do for you. So one of the guards had to take me upstairs. Like, this is not even Philippine Airlines. Like, I don't get why the transfer agent couldn't take me upstairs to have someone help me. She was just that lazy. No, it just makes my blood boil. Anyways, so she took me to ticketing and I explained my situation, and they were just questioning me like, you're not allowed to leave the Philippines. And I was like, if I have a ticket, I'm allowed to, and I have all the travel documents right here. And then so he just tried calling people, but apparently CRO or customer relations officer wasn't answering. He's like, nobody's answering. And I was like, what am I gonna do? And I told him but the funny thing is, when I first told him that my flight to Honolulu was cancelled, he was like, what? The flight to Honolulu is cancelled? And he looked and he was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, when's the next flight to Honolulu? And he goes, July 4th, but that's not even sure yet. And I was just like, can I know the reason why they canceled the flights? And he was like, no, there's no reason. I don't know. Okay. At this point, my mom and my sister were all stressed out, and we just figured that it's best to take me back to Cebu. So I was like, can I credit my round trip ticket? I have a ticket to go back to Cebu anyways, but it's so nice. Can I just credit that? And they're like, no, you have to buy a new one. And I was just like, I have to buy a ticket to go back to Cebu when I already have an existing ticket to go back to Cebu? Okay. We didn't have a choice at the time. Are you sure that I'll be able to go? Like, I knew my documents had me travel from Cebu to Manila, but not vice versa. And he was like, yeah, you should be fine because you just landed like today, and you didn't even reach a day here, and yeah, you should be fine. You didn't leave the airport anyways. So yeah. Oh, and the transfer agent didn't even like try to look for food or anything for me. Like, I was just left on my own. Philippine Airlines.